Hey everybody, so this is 10.4 and we are now talking about something called sample space. I love that we're getting more and more complicated. This is getting exciting. So we are now talking about not only one event and the likelihood of one event happening, but multiple events or compound events. That's when there's more than one event taking place at the same time. So when you do your notes, you'll need to write down the definition of sample space, and that is the set of all possible outcomes of one or more events. The set of all possible outcomes of one or more events. So personally, to me, when I hear that, it sounds kind of confusing, so I really like that we have this example involving pizza, one of my favorite things. All right, so in this case, we've got two different possibilities happening. We are going to be able to choose a type of crust in this problem and a style of pizza. So as you can see here, we can either have a thin crust or a stuffed crust. So this is my first event, is type of crust. I also have a style of pizza. These are my toppings. Apparently I can choose between Hawaiian, Mexican, pepperoni, or veggie. I've never had Mexican style pizza. What is that? That sounds delicious. Hawaiian, of course, I know. Pepperoni is amazing. Veggie I love, but Mexican? Okay, I need to find out more about that. All right, so style, this is the next type of outcome. Now, when I put them together, this is the outcome. When I put them together, I will have an outcome. An outcome is a combination of both events. So if I wanted to, I could create what's called this sample space, which is like a list of all of the possibilities using a tree or a diagram. So this is a tree. You'll see that there's kind of branches on our tree. These are considered to be branches. And then we just go ahead and we list every single possible choice. So I would start with the crust, because there's only two of them, and then the style, because there's more of them. So I could have a thin crust. Let's use a different color. I could have a thin crust that is Hawaiian. I could have a thin crust that is Mexican, a thin crust that is pepperoni, a thin crust that has veggie, right? So right here I've got my first four. That's great. Now that's if the crust is thin. However, I need to move down and take into account if my crust is stuffed. So I could have stuffed with Hawaiian, stuffed with Mexican, stuffed crust pepperoni, stuffed with veggie. Here's four more. So all together, I've got 8 possible outcomes. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. Now there's something really cool, which I think you guys are going to enjoy, called the fundamental counting principle. This thing down here. And what it's saying is that you don't have to go through and create a tree or a diagram and list out every single possible choice. There's an easier way of doing it. So what they're suggesting is that you take each of the different types of events. In this case, I've got crust, and then I've got style. And I'm going to call the outcomes of this first one M, and the outcomes of the second one N. And the fundamental counting principle says that all you have to do is multiply M times N, and you will get the total number of outcomes. So let's try it. Crust, how many possible choices are there? 1, 2. So this is a 2. Style, how many possible styles are there? Let's look over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 possible styles. And again, you can look over here on the left-hand side at this menu if it's easier. 1, 2, 3, 4 types of styles. Multiply those together, and you get 8. There are 8 possible outcomes. And look at that. It's the same solution that we got here with our tree. So it's much simpler and faster. Here we are again. This time I'm talking about flipping a coin, and I'm talking about rolling a number cube. So in this case, it makes sense to use a diagram. So along the top of my diagram, I have all the possible ways that I could roll a number cube. When I roll that number cube, I could get the number 1, the number 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. When I flip a coin, I could get heads or I could get tails. And in this diagram, I have put all of those combinations together. So I could get the number 1 with a head or the number 1 with a tail, right? So imagine that you're rolling the dice and then you're flipping the coin. You're rolling the dice and you're flipping the coin. These are all the possibilities, okay? So go through it. You can roll a number 2 with a heads, number 2 with a tail, and go all the way through the chart. And then I could sit there and I could count them up and I could say, how many possible outcomes are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There are 12 possible outcomes. That makes sense, and it's clearly laid out in my diagram. But I could also just use the fundamental counting principle and recall that all I need to do is figure out how many possibilities there are for each event. So when I'm talking about rolling the number cube, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 possibilities. 6. When I'm talking about flipping a coin, there are 1, 2 possibilities, heads or tails. All I have to do is multiply those together, get the number 12, and look at that. It's the same answer. There are 12 possible outcomes. All right, now by the time I get to a problem like this that involves a bunch of different events, I am so excited that I know about the fundamental counting principle, because I do not have the time to make a massive tree or a diagram or chart. I mean, I certainly could, and if you wanted me to, I could do it for you, but it would take forever, and it's unnecessary because I'm looking at this particular example, and now instead of just having crust and pizza style, or a cube and a coin, now apparently I'm looking in my closet and I'm talking about t-shirts, I'm talking about jeans, and I'm talking about shoes. So now I have 3 separate events happening. Can you see that in the picture? Here's my shoes, here's my t-shirts, and here's my jeans. And they're all different colors. Okay, so all I need to do using the fundamental counting principle is figure out how many possible outcomes there are for each event. So looking up here, I'm going to start with my t-shirts, and apparently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I see 7 t-shirts hanging in the closet. So there's 7 possible outcomes there. Moving on to the jeans, looking in my closet, apparently I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 possible outcomes for jeans. And looking at my pairs of shoes, 1, 2, 3. 3 possible outcomes there. So now all I need to do is multiply them together. The 7 times, the 4 times the 3. And altogether I get 84 possible combinations or outcomes. Yay. And it was so much quicker than drawing it all out or diagramming it all out.